Ever notice how a ringing phone makes you want to hide under the covers? Or when someone knocks, you hold your breath, hoping they'll leave. You're not turning into a hermit. You're not losing your spark. You're just getting older. And with age comes a quiet pull towards solitude that nobody warns you about. But here's the secret: it's not weird. It's not wrong. And you're definitely not alone. Let's dive into why this happens and why it might be the best thing you didn't see coming. Reason 1, social fatigue. This isn't the kind of tired a good night's sleep can fix. It's the quiet burnout from a lifetime of navigating social waters, smoothing over arguments, keeping the peace at gatherings, or forcing a smile when someone's energy overwhelms you. You've spent years reading moods, dodging conflicts, and balancing who needs what. Maybe you were the one everyone leaned on, the listener, the planner, the glue, but now that role feels heavy. A quick coffee date can sap your energy for hours. A crowded event leaves your mind buzzing, begging for quiet. It's like your inner battery doesn't recharge as fast anymore. You notice how much effort it takes to keep up with group chats or field questions from nosy relatives. So, you start pulling back. You say no to that noisy party. Skip the small talk at the store. Choose a solo walk over a group outing. This isn't about disliking people, it's about protecting your spark. You've learned that constant socializing can dim your light, and you're not willing to let that happen. Think of it as setting boundaries, not building walls. You're choosing rest over obligation, calm over chaos. And when you do spend time with others, you want it to count: real talks with people who don't drain you, moments that feel worth the energy. Others might not understand. They might think you're aloof or wonder why you're not your old social self. But you know the truth: you're not retreating. You're recharging. You're saving your strength for what truly matters. So, when you opt for a quiet evening over a loud night out, don't doubt yourself. You're not fading, you're guarding your peace. And that's a strength all its own. Reason 2, shifting priorities. This change feels like waking up. You begin asking yourself new questions. Does this person lift me up or drag me down? Does this conversation spark joy or just fill time? Am I here because I want to be, or because I feel I have to? You're not out to impress anymore. You're not trying to collect acquaintances like trophies. What you want now is quality people who truly get you, talks that touch your soul, moments that leave you feeling whole. And if those aren't on the table, you're perfectly fine with your own company. It's like switching from a crowded party to a quiet dinner with a close friend. You'd rather have one heartfelt chat than a dozen shallow ones. You seek out the people who make you laugh without trying, who listen as much as they talk, who feel like home. And when those connections aren't around, you don't force it. You're okay sipping coffee alone, watching the world go by, because you've learned that peace is its own kind of joy. Solitude isn't empty, it's rich with the freedom to just be. This shift can surprise those around you. Some might say you're pulling back, that you don't show up like you used to. But that's because you're done chasing the spotlight. You're not here to be everyone's friend or fill every silence. You're here to live on your terms, to surround yourself with what matters most. And when you prioritize meaning over noise, you find a calm that's worth more than any crowded room. So, if you're choosing quieter days and smaller circles, don't doubt yourself. You're not missing out, you're homing in on what makes life truly yours. Reason 3, grief and loss. As you grow older, you say goodbye more often, friends drift to new cities, family members pass on, relationships quietly fade. Each goodbye carves out a piece of your world, leaving your social circle smaller, sometimes without you even noticing. That's the third reason you might crave solitude as you age. Grief and loss reshape your heart, pushing you to seek quality over quantity in the connections you keep. This isn't about shutting down or giving up. It's about feeling the weight of what's gone and choosing to honor it in your own way. Every loss, whether it's a childhood friend who moved away or a loved one no longer at the dinner table, leaves a quiet ache. You've poured love into those bonds, and when they're gone, rebuilding feels daunting. For some, it's not even the goal. Instead, you turn inward, treasuring the memories and focusing on the few relationships that feel safe, deep, and true. It's like tending a garden. You nurture what's still growing and let the rest rest. You start to see time differently. With fewer years ahead, you want every moment to count. You'd rather share a long, honest talk with one trusted friend than juggle a room full of acquaintances. You seek people who understand your scars, who don't need you to explain the quiet in your eyes. And when those people aren't nearby, you find comfort in solitude, not as a retreat, but as a space to reflect, to heal, to hold those you've lost close in your thoughts. Alone doesn't mean lonely. It means choosing what feels real. Others might not get it. They might worry you're isolating, pulling away. But this isn't about closing off. It's about opening up to what matters most. You've loved fiercely, lost deeply, and now you guard your energy for connections that spark warmth. So, if you're drawn to quieter days, savoring the few who truly know you, I don't feel you're doing it wrong. You're not shrinking your world, you're refining it. Building a space where love and loss can coexist in peace. Reason 4, low tolerance for nonsense. Ever been stuck at a party where someone drones on about their new diet or the latest office scandal? In your younger days, you might have grinned, tossed in a polite nod, or even played along to keep things smooth. But now, something's different. Your patience for that kind of chatter, gossip, drama, or endless small talk has all but disappeared. That's the first reason you find yourself craving solitude as you age. You've got zero room left for nonsense. This isn't about turning into a grump. It's about seeing things clearly. You've spent years navigating conversations that lead nowhere, friends venting about the same old problems, coworkers obsessing over petty slights, or that one relative who can't stop bragging about their vacation. After decades of it, you're done. You don't want to fake a laugh at a bad joke or act riveted by someone's rant about their noisy neighbor. Your energy is too valuable, and you're not wasting it on fluff. It's like your brain has a new filter: pointless banter and emotional chaos. They don't make the cut anymore. You start dodging gatherings where the talk stays shallow. You let calls go to voicemail if they're just going to be gripe sessions. This isn't about pushing people away. It's about pulling yourself toward peace. You've learned that every moment spent on nonsense is a moment you could have spent feeling calm, grounded, or even just enjoying your own thoughts. Think of it as curating your life. You're done carrying the weight of others' drama or forcing yourself to care about things that don't matter. By letting go of that clutter, you make space for what is quiet evenings, real conversations, or simply the joy of being alone with your thoughts. And when someone calls you out for being less chatty, that's fine. They don't see the strength it takes to choose yourself over noise. So, when you skip that tiresome catch-up or walk away from a gossip fest, don't feel bad. You're not being cold, you're being real. You're trading nonsense for clarity. And that's a gift you've earned with time. Reason 5, self-awareness. Picture yourself at a noisy gathering. Chatter swirling around you. And you feel that familiar tug to slip away. Not because you're shy or rude, but because you know it's not your scene. That clarity, that quiet confidence to choose what feels right, comes from a powerful place. With time, you've learned to read yourself like a book. You know what makes your heart sing and what leaves you drained. That coworker who always complains, you see how their negativity lingers in your mood? The friend who interrupts every story, you feel the frustration before they even start. You've mapped out your triggers, your joys, your limits. and that knowledge is your compass. Instead of forcing yourself to endure endless small talk or tense family dinners, you opt out, not to be cold, but to stay true to yourself. This self-awareness is like an inner shield. You don't need to sit through a loud party to realize it'll exhaust you. You already know. You skip the gossip session because it clashes with your calm. You distance yourself from people who stir old wounds. Not out of spite, but to keep your peace intact. It's a choice born from years of trial and error, from moments when you ignored your gut and paid the price. Now, you trust that voice inside, and it guides you towards solitude when the world feels too heavy. People might misread this. They might think you're withdrawing or being picky, but you're not hiding, you're honoring who you are. You're saying yes to quiet mornings with your thoughts, to talks with the few who truly get you. This isn't about cutting people off. It's about curating your life to match your soul. So, when you choose a solo coffee over a crowded brunch, don't second guess it. You're not avoiding life, you're shaping it. You're living with a clarity that only comes from knowing yourself. And that's a strength worth celebrating. Reason 6, value of time. When you were younger, an hour felt like pocket change. Something you could toss away on a whim, a long chat, a spontaneous hangout, no big deal. But as the years stack up, time starts to shimmer like a rare gem. You feel its weight, its worth, in a way you never did before. This shift is like a quiet revelation. You wake up one day and realize every moment is a limited resource. A coffee date isn't just an hour, it's an hour you could have spent reading, reflecting, or laughing with someone who truly lights you up. A phone call isn't just a quick catch-up, it's energy you're giving away. Energy you might want for a walk that clears your mind. You start weighing your choices differently. Asking, will this leave me fuller or emptier? And if the answer leans toward empty, you're more likely to pass. It's not about being selfish. It's about being deliberate too. You've seen how fast the years slip by, and you want what's left to count. You'd rather share a deep, unhurried talk with one close friend than juggle small talk at a crowded party. You pick a quiet evening with your thoughts over a meetup that feels like an obligation. Solitude becomes a sanctuary, a place where time slows down, where you can savor the moment without splitting your attention. People might not get it. They might think you're dodging them or losing your spark, but you're not pulling away, you're investing wisely. You're giving your time to what feeds your soul, whether that's a single, meaningful connection or the simple joy of being alone. You've learned that every interaction has a cost, not just in minutes, but in how it shapes your day, your mood, your peace. So, when you say no to a casual hangout or let an invite slide, don't feel guilty. You're not shutting out the world, you're cherishing it. You're treating time like the treasure it is. And that's a wisdom that only comes with age. Deeper insights. As you age, the world starts to look different. Sharper. Like a fog has lifted, you spot insincere smiles from a mile away. Sense when a friendship feels lopsided, and know when to walk away from drama without a second thought. This clarity, honed by years of experience, lets you cut through social noise and focus on what truly matters. But there's more to this shift towards solitude. Layers that go beyond just wanting peace. Let's dive into the deeper reasons why you might embrace your own company. One big piece is emotional labor. Maybe you've always been the one to smooth things over, to check in, to keep friendships alive. But after years of carrying that load, you start to wonder, who's looking out for me? So, you step back. You stop being the one who always reaches out, who fixes every rift. It's not about bitterness, it's about saving your heart for what feels fair. This choice lightens your load, letting you breathe easier in quieter moments alone. Then there's your body, Aging brings aches, slower steps, a need for calm. Loud restaurants or late nights don't just tire you, they overwhelm you. A long dinner with too many voices feels like a workout. So, you lean into early coffee dates or solo evenings that suit your rhythm. You're not avoiding fun, you're designing a life that fits your physical reality. Your identity shifts. 2. You're no longer the busy parent, the career climber, or the life of the party. Maybe you've retired or simplified your days. The people you once connected with coworkers. School parents might not align with who you are now. That's okay. Letting go of old ties makes room for connections that match your current self. Even if they're fewer, society often gets it wrong, painting solitude as loneliness. But you know better. Being alone can be a gift, a chance to hear your own thoughts, to savor a quiet sunrise, to exist without performing. It's not withdrawal, it's growth. You're not isolating, you're choosing a life that feels authentic. So, embrace those still moments. They're not empty, they're full of you. And that's enough. If you find yourself savoring quiet moments, choosing solitude over crowds, don't worry. It's not loneliness, it's growth. You're not pulling away, you're stepping into who you are. Every skip party, every peaceful evening alone, is a sign you've arrived at a place of self-acceptance. Embrace it. This is your life fitting just right. A quiet victory of living true. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Share it with friends to spread the love and good vibes. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss our heartfelt, real talk content. Let's keep the journey going together.